This is a real quick video for somebody that's looking to buy a used power wheel. This is just kind of some information that I've learned after buying a few of these that I thought I'd pass along to anybody that might be interested. The first thing to look for, if you don't have, I guess number one, if you already have some power wheels and you have an extra battery that works, a lot of time that's good to take with you, because I've found most of the problems that are on used power wheels is the batteries are dead, so you can't test them. So if you do have an extra battery, take an extra battery and plug it in and see if it works. If you don't have the luxury of having a battery to test it, the most important thing to check for is you want to look at the rear tires. On this particular Jeep, you can kind of see most of the time they're going to wear on the rear the worst, and on the inside. Sometimes these little cracks and busted tires can kind of be hidden, so you want to make sure the tires aren't busted. They aren't that difficult to replace, but it is pretty inconvenient to have to replace the tires. The next, really, I guess the biggest thing to check on is the gearboxes, to make sure the gearboxes aren't stripped. And how you do that is you basically want to pick up the rear tire and spin it. You don't want it to be loose. I don't know if you can kind of hear that. That's kind of what the that kind of tells me automatically that there shouldn't be any busted gears inside the gearboxes. Usually the motors are fine on these things. So if the gearbox is good, you're all set to go, and you've got a good ride on. If one of these rear tires, if you pick up on it and it almost spins freely, or it just kind of feels like it's getting caught on something or something like that, or just doesn't feel like it's a fluid, the same kind of resistance, and you kind of get different resistance on it, then you might have a busted gear in the gearbox. I would say that's the most important thing. Another thing is on the shifter. A lot of times I've found that people leave the lockout screw in here. There are two high speeds, so if it only goes from the reverse all the way down and then the slow gear, and it doesn't go all the way up, there's a little screw on this side you can take out, and that'll allow it to go into high gear. Anyway, I just thought I would give you that little bit of info. The gearboxes is probably the best thing to check on the rear end.